It has been an awfully long time since my last video, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the stuff that I'm working on currently. Might even actually display some software, wouldn't that be? That'd be amazing. Okay, so I have a number of projects that I'm working on through the ApeSDK, all leading towards what I'm calling SimCline, the domain name. So I'll probably talk to that at some stage. So here's where you get all my development through GitLab. SimCline is built on, so it's based on Operation C-Line, which was the German invasion of England, predominantly the southeast of England, in October 1940, obviously a possible world scenario. So C-Line has a lot of different components to it. The main two that I'm working on currently, well, there are three really, but let's talk about the main two, is taking the C-Line code and taking the war code and also the urban simulation code. Now, C-Line has a particular visual aesthetic which actually comes from, let's see if I can, do we have show and finder or something? Would be very useful. Okay. So C-Line is based on some maps, which are, there we go. So the maps are basically the southeast of England from the, what are they called? Ordnance Survey maps. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Ordnance Survey maps that map the southeast of England. And I bought these maps from the, what is it called? The Library of Scotland, I think. So let's have a look at some of the interesting ones. Let's have a look at 84, for example. So these have already been PNG reduced. They're already reduced color maps with the view that what I want to do is take specific towns from this and turn them into vectors. So where's an example of one of the towns I want to take? I think, well, anyway, there are, so you can get the color idea here, the roads, these kind of things. I'm already doing color reduction on the maps to make them a little bit more compressible. So the two towns I wanted to start with are Folkestone and so this is Folkestone, which is down, where is it? It's further up, but it's on, anyway, it's further up on the southeast coast, and also Ashford. These are two towns that are well documented in terms of potential invasion locations and also kind of stepping stones on the way to London. Now, obviously, this map, most of this is London here. So the map idea, you know, coming from the southeast, all aiming for London. And the idea is to take these maps and turn them into vector maps. Now, folks will remember perhaps, where are we? Folks will remember perhaps the urban simulation. And that has a very particular aesthetic. Now, I've colorized the new aesthetic to be with the map. So this is the old map color. Shall I try it without? Let me give you one then the other. So this is the way it looks normally. So you can, I think it's easier if I do it here. So here you have the simulated apes. This is a very small, but it gives you the idea of the kind of vector maps. And the aim is to turn Ashford and Folkestone into vector maps similar to this. But the first thing was just getting the color map right. You got to get that right. So, but yeah, there's been a lot of rewriting currently. So this is the sea line color map, make it look like an ordnance survey map. Anyway, so the idea here is to start with these towns, get them simulated through the urban simulation, and then use the warfare simulation that is in, what is it called? I don't know what it's called. Simulated war, I guess. And that I've also been working on currently. Where is it? War. So the aim here is just to put the agent modeling of the war simulation into these maps based on these locations. So let's see how this goes. You can see this is just for, I don't know what you call a rank and file, basically. Internal combat, this kind of stuff. Very poorly programmed, but the intro of that. So to take the combatants, put them in the simulated environment based on the towns, and that is the sea line simulation. With the view that once you've done the town simulation, you then go back to the big maps, you look at map compression, obviously vectorization of the maps, and then hopefully we will be able to simulate large-scale environments historically based, and we'll see how this all comes together. And obviously you've got Air Force bombing, Luftwaffe bombing, what have you. You've got all these kind of interchanges as well based on real-world maps. So this is a kind of drag and drop explanation of the various components to this thing. And yes, it's taking a good portion of my evenings currently. But that's what I'm working on currently. The stuff associated with pandemic simulation, I think I'll return to, obviously topical, but for now, I'm more interested in exploring a little bit of history with the view that the pandemic isn't stopping anytime soon. So I thought I'd work on this first. And the other thing that's beautiful about these areas is that there's a bunch of folk that are interested in these spaces anyway. So simulating these spaces and talking about sea line and, looking down, just getting vector maps of Folkestone would be really fun, making these into proper vector maps, railroads, what have you, roads. So coming soon. I have JSON files, which are text files, which describe these various environments. And the idea is to make the text files richer and richer to the point where they'll then be immediately put importable into the urban simulation. Anyway, so that's it so far. Like I say, for more information, I can be found at gitlab.com/Bartley, and that'll have the sea line and, various components. And part of it is getting the ApeSDK just more integrated. So, for example, the render maps and the new stuff, which existed previously, but just haven't been put together quite in the same way. So it's about getting the ApeSDK ready. I'm going to put a majority of the war componentry into the ApeSDK as well, and just getting that ready. So stay tuned for more as my voice is, late evening, cement factory, dust-robbed voice. Anyway, Tom Bartley in San Jose signing out.